And sure enough, not everybody survived. Obviously, Sarah and Matthew did, for obvious reasons. They're the protagonists and they're alive today telling this story. But Sephiroth and one other soldier made it. Even Sarah calls him out on it. Yeah, that is pretty cold. I don't remember if there's any random battles here. And if there is, Sephiroth can pretty much own anything in these mountains. But this is one of the few times you can see his profile picture and all of his stats. Look at all that cheddar. Oh my gosh. And if you try and remove it, Sephiroth is just like, what are you doing? He's got the Massimo Gold Armor and Tough Ring. Oh my gosh. Those are some good, awesome stats and abilities and equipment. It's the only time you can actually take a look at what he has. Hey, at least Sephiroth kind of filled you in on why they built the macro reactor here, even if it isn't really practical. You know, the background detail in a lot of these pre-rendered maps is kind of hit or miss in a lot of instances. Like this one has a lot of detail with the wood and the dirt and things like that. There's just a lot of little, I guess, texture gradients and details that you can just notice on repeat playings. And then some other maps and things like that are just really plain and really just not a lot of effort looked like was put into making them. But this is one of the ones that actually looked really, really good to me. Trying to give some sort of analysis, logic-based reason why there is supposed magic in this world. Kind of giving you the laws. Ah yes, we've already met Hojo, haven't we? Nice little tidbit of information for later. Such odd designs for a reactor. I guess that does make sense. She did guide him to the reactor, and that was pretty much her role and purpose. Come on. Oh, come on, controller. Out of all the reactors, this one is the most unique looking one, and I think the reason why is because it wasn't made cookie cutter style like the ones in Midgar, which pretty much I think is based off all the same design. And this one actually has a special purpose for its particular what objective it fulfills for Shinra. Sephiroth is just like, this is the reason it's broken. I don't want to do it myself. Matthew, go do it for me. Fix it. What are all these capsules for? So Hojo is putting something else in there as the energy of the Mako is forming to create Materia. Woo! Crazy monsters. So basically he's making Materia humanoids? Which would explain some of their crystalline shapes. Uh-oh. Something's starting to crack with Sephiroth here. Back away from that sword. You could inadvertently get struck with it. I'll admit, I was pretty young when I played this. This little part kind of freaked me out a little bit. But even though the monster kind of spilled out of the container there, nothing else is said about it for the rest of the game. What happened to that creature? Did they kill it, put it out of its misery? Did it escape and terrorize Nibelheim for years to come? You don't know. You have no idea. It's never mentioned again. Let's keep talking. My question is why? Maybe the Shinra Mansion was constructed because of the reactor? Or was the reactor constructed there later after some Shinra nobles or whatever resided in Nibelheim and then found out about the rich Mako deposits in the mountains? I don't think the game really gives a history for the mansion. It just is. It's there. Out of all the cities in the world, or towns in the world, Shinra chose this one to build this huge mansion for their experiments and projects and things, or whatever. I could go wandering around the whole house trying to look for Sephiroth, which is kind of what most people do their first time playing the game, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go straight to where he is. And it's also here we get a secret character. We can get access to a very secret character, which is a little bit more involved than another character we'll get in about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of gameplay time. 2 hidden characters in this game. So, Sephiroth is obsessed. He feels like something's wrong with his life now at this point, that everything that he's been living for is a lie. Probably not, Sephiroth. Why did he die? That can actually get answered a little bit later if you look at some optional video material later on in Disc 2. So yeah, you just let him be alone, and I think the game progresses on. I remember wandering around the whole area, figuring out if there was something I needed to do, or if there was some place I needed to check, or if I needed to talk to him a couple more times. But no, you just leave him alone. You just walk straight back out and the game proceeds. Kind of silly, that. Uh-oh. Like he just woke up from a dead sleep. Something was not right. You ever get that feeling? It's really creepy, you know? Where all of a sudden you're like wide awake. And you don't know why. But you know something's not right. Yeah, I can feel Cloud. I can see that Matthew kind of felt the same way and got right out of his bed. It's just like, whoa. Something's different than this house. Get those hairs on the back of your neck. That's what I think about when I play this scene here. And sure enough, he's right. Something is different in this house, and it's Sephiroth. I don't know, were these people that showed up who disliked traveling? Were they part of the Cetra, or did they come from the planet itself? I don't think the distinction was really made there. Maybe, maybe not. He's seemingly saying that they're two separate species. The Cetra came to the planet, but I guess people who wanted to lead an easier life arose maybe from the planet? So he's the end result of the Genova project. Yet Tojo, I think, is still continuing on the project. Now you hear Sephiroth's theme song in full glory, as it were. Kind of redundant trying to work your way back out, but whatever. What happened to the soldier? Hey, look, your house looks totally tore up. I didn't really check the timelines, but yeah, your mother probably died during this attack raid right here by Sephiroth. Sephiroth does have access to Faraga, or Fire 3 as it is translated in this game. And he's killing all the townspeople. There's that creepy little undertone there. So we're chasing him all the way to Nibelheim Reactor up at the top of Mount Nibel. Nibel? I don't know. So basically, Sephiroth just destroyed his hometown. In all, pretty much, essence. Oh my gosh, I did the same stupid thing again. Stupid controller! Hey, we remember this scene back in, which was it? The second reactor we did in Midgar? So now we get to see a little bit more context around this particular scene. What happened before and what's going to happen after. Don't you do it, Sarah. Don't you? Oh my gosh. I was shocked. Utterly shocked when this happened. Because I was just like, wait a minute. Isn't, like, Matthew and Sarah telling this story after the fact? Why is it she's getting this near fatal wound by Sephiroth here? It just doesn't make sense. Because that sword should have literally sliced her in half. Okay, in terms of most imagery in this game, this particular shot is a little creepy. A little bit disturbing. The fact that they would put a weird statuesque facade in front of Genova like this is just a little bit over the top. Even by Professor Gast or even Hojo standards. Makes the whole thing seem a bit surreal. Not really sure what the point of that face facade, angel facade there was for. If the actual Genova mother is right there. So he's let it all just go to his head. He's just went off the deep end and went cuckoo. He has taken this entire theory of him being part of the Sintra and being the rightful owner of this planet to the far great extreme. He has taken it as his personal mission in life. So yeah, this is where the story ends, and even Barney's just like, wait a minute, Sarah had this huge life-threatening injury. You're about to face off Sephiroth, which you clearly were outmatched. What the flip happened? No one knows. Neither of them know. And that is something that's going to have to be answered at a later time in the game. Now, I have to regret to inform you, I actually going to have to end Season 1 here. Because, just due to real-life circumstances, I'm not going to be able to make it to Costa del Sol. And after the first battle with a major enemy on the ship to Costa del Sol, that's where Season 1 would have ended if real life circumstances hadn't gotten in the way. So we're going to finish up this final conversation here. Barney's just like, I don't get any of this, I'm done. Just tell me where to go and what to shoot. What to kill. So yeah, Barney's pretty much lumping them all together Sephiroth, Shinra, they're both bad. Which technically they are, but makes it simpler in his mind. Yeah, there's a lot to take in right here, but thankfully it's all going to be answered over the course of the game. And Xander's just like, wow, that's fascinating. So yep, this is probably where I'm going to call it before even exploring the Village of Calm. And this ends Season 1. I will be having to do a small little analysis of the whole Midgar segment here and all of Season 1 in a couple seconds. So now that we got the most helpful PHS to switch party members on the world map, I'm going to call this good, and I'll see you in a few moments. Bye now. Final Fantasy VII was a groundbreaking game that plunged Squaresoft into the limelight for American audiences and established Final Fantasy as a household gaming name. Although the game hasn't really aged that well in recent years, it is still fun to play, and with the remake on the horizon, this is just going to bring in a whole new generation of gamers that's just going to get sucked into the world of Final Fantasy VII and enjoy and fall in love with the characters all over again like we did. Now for the challenge with this game, what I presented with the classes based on materia usage between characters, it wasn't really exceptionally that hard yet based on this first season just being based all around Midgar. The game really didn't get that challenging until Shinra Tower, where you had to fight Hojo's experiment, and then followed that by the 1-2 punch of that tank-turned-helicopter in the descending elevator section, all the way to President Rufus up on the rooftop. Yeah, let's talk about Rufus for a second. I think he was the single most divisive battle regarding this entire challenge so far, and where I even had to make an exception for him just based on the 1v1 fight that you're involved with. Outside of outright grinding for hours prior to this battle to be over-leveled, which would just bore me to tears as well as you trying to watch me do it, I just limited myself to 4 items, 2 grenades and 2 potions. And outside of that, I was able to complete him more or less okay. So after that, the highway boss was a little bit of a worry, but in the end, even with horrible prep work before that battle, I still was able to win out. So if I had to rate this first season in terms of difficulty, it would be due to Rufus and that highway boss that kind of bring the difficulty up a bit, and it was really tricky to defeat this early in the game. So I give this Season 1 of Final Fantasy VII a 2 out of 10. So not too hard, but not a walk in the park either. So a great start to what I believe will be a really interesting play series. So looking forward to Season 2, where we will be hopefully moving past Costa del Sol and maybe end Season 2 in Nibelheim. I don't know. We'll just have to see. So until next time, everybody, see you later.